Today I'd like to take you through the installation, setup and usage of the Mtrack Clock Card system. It's a mobile Android based app. So to start with, we're going to need to install the app. So we'll open up our Play Store. We then need to search for Mtrack Clock. Install that. Once the installation is complete, click open, and we're going to need to allow these permissions. The next step is to enter your customer key. Initialize. Once the settings have been downloaded, click yes, and then click the synchronize button. So this will download any all your Mtrack specific data to your device. We'll just do a clear, so click yes to that. The next step is to enter your username and password. And we're in. So the Mtrack clocking app has got two modes. It's got an offline mode and online mode. The blue buttons are the online modes, the rest of them are the offline modes. So I will start with the online mode. To get started with this, we'll need to create what we call task templates. So task templates can be created using a task template screen. So they're essentially a task and location combination. Okay. But before we do that, I have got to do one thing. This is the settings. So the Mtrack settings. So we've got a settings screen here with a number of options. The first option here is when you're using a mixed media. So this is to help companies who have existing barcode formats, so we can try and integrate them without them having to incur the cost of reprinting everything. We'll cover that in a separate video. Okay, so the next one is the camera, so you can set it to either use the back or the front cameras. The next two are very important. So these are your barcode formats. Usually an Mtrack barcode is made up of two sections. So one being the worker and the second being an identifier for the item that's being produced. For clock cards, we can use those production labels to clock people on or off tasks. So the worker barcode length is normally going to be a 3 or 4 characters. The tray length, which is what we call a tray identifier, could be 4 or 5 or whatever you configure it as. So however you print them from Mtrack, that's what we need to go in here. Lock worker the task. In the offline mode, this will lock a worker onto a task no matter which task is currently being displayed. So it'll clock them on and clock them off that task regardless of the active task. Rounds 15 minutes effectively rounds time down to the closest 15 minutes. So if someone clocked on at 5 past 10, they'll be clocked on at 10. If they clocked on at 10 past 10, they'll be clocked on at quarter past 10. Log breaks. This basically records the breaks that they've been used. You don't need to use this, but it is an option. Auto breaks we'll discuss in a separate video. The default site. So this is the site where the device is being used. In the case of multi-site operations, this is pretty important because it limits the locations that can be chosen to clock people onto. So I'll just choose farm 2 in my case. Auto sync allows the device to automatically upload and download data in the background if it's got an internet connection. And the sync frequency is how every 5 minutes the device will attempt to upload and download data. So this is not relevant to the live system because that needs an always-on connection. So once we've got that, we click save, and then we can go back to our task templates. So task template effectively is, as we said before, is a combination of a task. So for example, supervision and a block. Auto rate is set so that the system will use the rate configured against each individual worker. So that is set when you add a new worker to Mtrack, and paid means that this job, we'd like to pay for this job. So the reason for that is certain jobs could just be used for things like attendance, or if you just wanted to log the number of people in a field without having to incur some time against them, you could do that. So for fire checks or registration or that sort of thing. Okay, so once we've completed the fields there, we click add, and add into the system. So we'll just go back. Now we've got the two modes basically. So we've got a live clock card. So that's sort of a punch in, punch out operation. So we'll just bring that up. So what we'd do here is we would select the active task. So if we just chose a new task there. Now the workers can punch in and punch out using barcodes, contactless cards, or manually putting the employee number in, or barcode number in. So if I do a manual one, so he's obviously clocked in somewhere already. So this can be run across multiple devices as well. 009. Okay, so they're clocked in. If I do 009 again, now they're clocked off. So I can clock in on this device, and if I walk to the other side of the building and there's another device there, I could clock off there. So it's across multiple devices, being a live system. So on the screen we also have a couple of reports. So what we have is we can look at all the clockings that have happened against this task, or we could look at clockings that have occurred across everyone on this site. So I have a list of names on the left, with the total number of hours recorded against each person. And if I want to look at more detail, I could then have a quick look at each individual worker here. All these fields can be edited. So if I click on one, I'll be able to change the recorded data or delete it. Someone clocked in an error. So for example, if I want to get rid of this 10-hour one here, that's fine. Okay. The second mode in live timesheet is our live timesheet. So effectively, you do exactly the same thing, but the system will clock the person in, clock them off, given the time. So I'll choose a random task here. Let's say we started at let's just say 9 AM, and we did 4.5 hours of work. I can see I've already got some stuff here, so let's just choose something different. Again, we can use a manual key the numbers in manually, or we can scan QR codes or work ID badges or tray labels to add people to the task, or we can use NFC contactless ID badges. So if we just choose an NFC one, go to pick someone up, or if I key in a barcode, again we've got the data in here. So again, this is all live in real time, so anyone on any device can actually have a look at this and edit things if things need changing. This data is not live in the system until it's approved by a system admin. So anything that was entered through the live system will need approval once the day is ended, or someone with the permissions to do so. Okay, we'll just cover briefly the offline mode. So we've got three options here. So with an offline clock card, this requires us to set up a job. So you complete the fields here. So real time, the system uses the system time to clock people on and off. So we'll leave that on. Again, type of task. So this is a category, so harvest type task, and then let's just set preparing trays. And again, we need a block. So the block auto rate. So again, if auto rate is set on, it'll use whatever rate is configured against the staff member. If I turn it off, I can actually set a rating here. So I'll just click save, and there's my task. So I select my task. Now I can scan people onto this, or NFC them onto it, or choose the number of workers. Or manually type my code in here. And I have my workers set up. If for some reason I need to edit this, I just click on it, edit it, and there are a number of options in here, or delete it, etc. So switch task means switch them to another task that we've got set up in the system. Stop the worker will stop them at a given time. Break will create a 15 or whatever, however long the break is, you can add. Usually one of those 50, so the break starts at 12 and is 15 minutes long. Okay, so basically a punch card system in an offline mode. When you finish for the day, what you can do is just stop all the tasks. So I can just PM, and it will stop all the workers. The next one is the offline timesheet. Again, this works exactly the same way as the online one, except for an offline mode. Again, we're going to just set some parameters up. Just set the start time, 9 AM again. 100 hours worked, so 2 hours, auto rate, we'll leave on. And then we can start adding workers using our barcodes. Or we can pick from the list. That's all in there. So we do have a report for the offline mode here. Again, it's very similar to the online mode. And you can see how many hours people have done, or edit these records as well. So if I click on a record, I can then edit it, or I can delete the record bar. Oh, apologies. You have to delete each record before deleting the entire field. Okay, so that's effectively the clock card. For offline mode, remember you're going to need to synchronize this manually, or unless you've got the auto sync on, and that will then upload the data to the central system. I hope this has helped a little bit. And if you have any questions, please get in contact with us. Thank you. Bye-bye.